who makes New Year's resolutions, because by the time January 15th come, I done probably broke all of them, however many I had. But I stopped doing that a long time ago, and I started saying, okay, this is last year. Leave it back there. Been there, done that. You got the funky T-shirts. You got the battle scars to prove that you done made it through 2023, and you're doing all right. How about this? How about let's not look back at the past? How about we stay focused right here on today? I'm going to January, because so many people will make the New Year's resolutions. This is at the top of everybody's list. I'm going to lose weight this year. That's what I'm doing. I'm going on a diet. Okay, first of all, check out the first three letters in diet. DIE, because you're gonna die from what you eat. That's what the elders used to tell us. So I said, well, I don't do diets. If is the bakeries in New York, New Orleans, and throughout the nation started selling treats in the early January through Fat Tuesday. They traditionally are eaten on January 6th. Maybe that's why the people, no, we ain't even going there. It's known as the 12th night or the Epiphany, the Catholic celebration of the Magi's gift to the baby Jesus on the 12th night after his birth. This was all about the baby Jesus. And people just get so caught up in Christmas and the holidays and and decorating your house and Christmas trees in the house and all of this. Listen, I found, well, you realize this, that uh Thanksgiving and Christmas and Halloween, especially here in Southern California. Halloween is a big day. I mean, they said that's the second most holiday. It's not even a holiday. It's something people came up and said it was, and it has something to do with some other stuff. But they said if you find a cake, if you find a toy in the cake, that's you're gonna be the one that have good luck all year long. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They can make king cakes en masse. And in the 1940s, the commercial bakeries, of course, they wanted to take over because that's what they do. That's what they do. You see somebody doing something, and then you go, "Oh, we'll just take that idea because what they're my property." What it's like well, it's I liken it to when in the entertainment industry when we have, okay, say 5 of us are working on a show, and you got the host and you got the producers, everybody's on favored nation status. That means everybody makes the same amount of money for doing different jobs, which I think we should make the same amount of money, but it should go where you're getting paid for the good job that you do. And so that's what they do in New Orleans. My Mexican brothers and sisters, oh my God, this took me down. I have to tell you, it took me down. Out here in California, tamales among mostly our Latino brothers and sisters, people be making these big giant pots of tamales, and people be standing outside in line. I couldn't imagine standing outside in line back east in the wintertime waiting to get some tamales. So I said, I think I can make tamales. I sure do. And one time I went to a tamale making party. And it was the bomb. It was the P-Funk All-Star. I'm telling you, we had a blast. There's an assembly line, one person they get the husk out, and then it goes down the line it was like maybe 10, 11 of us there, and they would go down the line. They made them real fast. And I was like, this is awesome. We can do this. So I come home one day, and I tell my husband, I said, honey, I want to make tamales. I can follow the recipe. I want to make tamales. And so I got all the fixings. I got the big giant pot, the one big enough to boil a small person in. Literally, I had got this big pot, brand new, hadn't made anything in it but tamales. And that was going to be my inaugural. Well, actually, it was my second time making tamales because the first time I made them, there was a group of people. So I'm figuring, Mother Love, you pretty good at cooking. You can read and follow directions. Let me tell you, that's no joke. Making tamales from scratch making tamales anywhere is no joke. And that's not something, I guess you could but you have to go to a market or someplace where they're serving food to be able to get them fresh. Well, me and my craziness. See, that's what I'm doing. See, I can't remember that lie because I can't remember stuff. And so anyway, got all the fixings, and I was following directions, and I must have lost something in translation because it said you have to soak the husk for like hours or overnight. So I went through the process. By the time I got to putting everything together and getting the masa together and putting it on the thing and on the shell, and they were really good. I made plain tamales, I made chicken tamales, I made turkey tamales, and they were really good. Because my pot was full of tears. I'm telling you guys, by the time I got to where I had all the ingredients on, I could just go down the line. I understand completely why my Latino brothers and sisters have that line, because it's not for one person to do. I was in the crowd. I can do that. I know it's going to take that long. You need at least 6 people. Oh, yeah. And he was just looking at me like, mm-hmm. And I realized you have to stay in your lane, whatever you're doing. Okay, I'm a pretty good cook, and I made the tamales and they were great, and it took me 3 days. And by the time the third day came, I was just obliterating, just like a big baby. Oh, I won't make the food like this. He was just looking at me like, okay, honey. So he saw the trauma that I was going through, and the tamales were great. Everybody had a good time. They said they were really good and they enjoyed it because they have the recipe. I'm like, you go to the Latino store and you get them made right. Some food you just got to stay away from. Tamales, and do you know tamales date back 8,000 years? 8,000 years. The Mesoamerican cultures, including the Mayans and the Aztecs, have brought this dish to America, and the migrant Mexican workers helped the dish spread to other areas of the country. I mean, we're talking about lucky food. Look, this is one I did not know. This is the one I did not know. The lucky grapes. I didn't know about lucky grapes. Well, obviously, I keep grapes in the freezer. They make a wonderful snack right away. But lucky grapes, 12 lucky grapes to be exact. The Spanish tradition was known as the 12 lucky grapes. Holds that eating 12 grapes at the stroke of midnight, one for each time on the clock, will bring good luck to you in the coming year. That would be a skill set that would have to be exercised, especially with the guys in my family, because they eat so fast. They were like 12 grapes. You done ate all the grapes for the whole year. Okay, but that's pretty good. Each grape signifies 1 month, and according these are superstitions. Failing to finish all 12 in time will mean misfortune in the year to come. Oh, so they saying you got to wolf down the grapes, and you got to get them. You have to get them in before the stroke of midnight. And reporting that the Madrid bourgeoisie's swiping grapes and champagne traditions from the French, because you know what we'd like to do here in America. You got a good idea? Let me see how I can get that idea from you. How about that? And then you have no leg to stand on, because they first thing they say, well, you're our slave, and you have to do what we say, and you do the thing. I knew about lentils. And this is a New Year's Italian dish. See, they got superstitions all around the world, stuff that people just come up with. I mean, I came from a very superstitious family. I mean, to the point there were certain things that you could not do. And so I don't have to have this issue anymore. And the traditions the superstitions that were handed down to us by our elders, some of them seemed, kind of weird, and some of them made a whole lot of sense. Now, in our family, in our ilk, because we come from the diaspora, we know our direct descendants from Africa, the whole 9 yards. And one of the things was, I don't care what time my mother came home from her New Year's celebration, and they didn't have cell phones back then, so she would go to maybe the neighbor's house and ask the neighbor to wake up. That superstition was, no woman should crush a woman's threshold first. My mother used to get my brothers up out the bed in the middle of the night, snowing. I don't care. Get up, y'all. Come on, walk out the door and then walk back in the door. And once they walked back in the door, she said, because a woman crossing your threshold before a man crosses your threshold, you're going to have problem with a woman all year. I was like, what is it? And no kidding, it was not up for discussion. And then later on that day, on the New Year's Day, they would make the scrub water, and they had they potion. They put this in, they put that in, they put Hoyt's cologne in, they put this in, they put all kind of stuff in the scrub water, red pepper, and the first place you wipe is across the threshold. Now you done got the child up in the middle of the night. He done came downstairs in his underwear. He done made him go outside and made him come in. And then you get the scrub water, and then you got to mop the floor, mop all the floors. I mean, literally, we would have furniture stacked up on top of each other so the whole floor, all the floors could be mopped. And I have to say, it had a great deal of merit to it, because at the time, this is before the lottery came out, and at the time, she was doing her thing, and she hit the number, because it used to be policy numbers. And a lot of you young people will not know what I'm talking about, but Google it. I'm sure you can find it. And she would have us get up and after we put the fellas put all the furniture back together, then you could go back to bed. But they would get up and you could smell the black because they start cooking the black eyed peas for the hopping john on New Year's Eve. And so New Year's Day, they didn't set in their juice in the Frigidaire, and you come out and you, oh my goodness. But it was just really something. Another one that we had was you couldn't push things up in the corner of the house. You couldn't, all the corners in my house and every place I've ever lived have always been free. You ask, well, mother love, how does that work? What's that for? I said, well, from my understanding of the superstition is, and we thought it was gospel, so we didn't know this until we became teenagers and adults. They said keep all of your the corners in your house free because that's where the angels come in. They come in through the corners in your house and you can see them hovering and you can see them going through. Sometimes you can feel them going through. Sometimes every new place I have ever lived, not like it was a bunch of them, but every new place I've ever lived, I have smelled my father. My father had been dead since the year I turned 10, and I could still smell his El Producto cigars. I could still smell that they smoke Philip Morris cigarettes, and they cigarettes didn't have a filter. Oh no, there was no filter, and they was like straight, no chaser. None of them ever had cancer, ever had lung problems, and that was another thing. Oh, this is another thing they did, which I have taken up. And I believe because you can have people walk into your house, you can have people come into your presence, and they just got foul. They just foul about themselves. To me, they smell like sulfur. I'm just saying, smell like sulfur to me. And they go past, and and you could smell them. I could still smell my father's. He wore Old Spice cologne. He smoked filterless cigarettes. And they didn't come out till after he had passed away. And he smoked the El Producto cigar. And I'm telling you, when him and our great grandmother got together, oh Lord, the smell up in there was something else. Okay, who wants to talk to us? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Who is this and where you come from? I am well, thank you for asking. How are you? So what would you like to add? Did you have superstitions in your family for New Year's? You were. You I was watching that. Oh, he done hung up. Anyway, he said his name was Mildred, or her name was Mildred. And so I'm talking about this is the Even More Fabulous Mother Love, my first show of the 2024. And I'm sure that you all have your own celebrations, your own superstitions. I'm talking about lucky food. Did you know that in some traditions, in the Latino tradition, that they said eating grapes? This is a Spanish tradition. So I'm Spanish and Spain, and I'm no more confused about you than I am confused about people giving us a different name. I mean, when was born, I was a colored baby, a Negro. I take that back. That's what's on my birth certificate, a Negro baby. And then I went from Negro to being colored to being, on the Afro set to being this, that, and the third. So I understand it. No, I take that back. I don't get it. It's how you identify. And talking about identifying, on the line with me in the building is Mr. Prime Black. First of all, Happy New Year, baby.
Happy New
How
Year.
are you? Have you made any New Year's resolutions?
Uh,
Yeah.
we got time to run down this.
Wait,
Um,
how many do you have?
I think I'm gonna just go ahead and start with the ones that I started since the beginning, which would be
Uh,
stay focused, consistent, and positive. Stay focused, consistent, and positive. Those right
that's
there in the times that we have gone through a lot of things, it is so hard for most of us to stay positive and focused and consistent in what we're
mhm.
trying to do. Consistency is definitely a part of if you're going to have these affirmations when it comes to New Year's resolutions, or I call evolutions, because you are evolving out of the caterpillar skin into the beautiful butterfly that you are to be able to float to the highest levels that you can fly to. And so for me, I look at it as we're evolving, on a consistent basis. And so for me, I look at it as long as you're focused on the task at hand, one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time, and you stay consistent at, watering that seed, that you plant seeds where there is no trail. You never know where they may grow. So as long as you
Right.
stay consistent into watering your seeds on a daily basis, all you can do is be positive, because the sun will shine again tomorrow. And so that's the great glory of God. And so
The great glory of
I'm
God.
glad to be able
I
to wake
remember
up
a
another
quote
day.
from I want to say it's Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm not sure. Wait a minute, I know how to do this. But anyway, I was talking about the lucky grapes in the Spanish tradition.
Oh yeah.
Lentils is an Italian superstition. It means that they can be multiple courses served over several hours. One of the dishes in the massive spread said to bring especially good luck, lentils. Well, lentils are good for you anyway. Help clean out your
Oh
body
yeah.
parts. You
That's
know,
true.
because people carry a lot of junk from yesterday
Oh yeah.
from yesteryear and drag it into them with the new year. And I appreciate what you said about no resolutions, evolutions.
Yeah.
Let us evolve into who we want to be for this year. Because a
Hmm.
lot of times, people make these big, giant, grandiose statements about, oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And like I said, that's why I stopped making them, because they gonna be broke. And when I decided, okay, I got to change my health, it didn't matter if it was in the middle of August. It didn't matter. I'm not waiting until January 1st of another year to come for me to say it's time to take better care of you.
That's the willpower that we must have going into this new year, is to having the ability to have the willpower to be able to let go. Can you
Mhm.
let go? Can you give your own self your own trust fall? We've been trying to trust fall with so many people who are not trust wall worthy, and we fall and bust our head and we get knocked unconscious and not realize that, oh, we've lost ourselves in trying to rely on others instead of God.
And therein lies where there is hope and there is faith, because you got this present. You got the presence of today. Just another day. It's not just another day, because I wake up like I'm a little kid going to the Christmas tree, opening up all my presents. I don't care how pretty they look, all the bowls that I'm ripping it open to see what I got. We
Oh
get
yeah.
to rip open the day and see what we have. This is another day for us to make it right. We're not gonna get everything right today. Listen, I'm already jacked up, tore from the floor up. I said I was gonna start a new thing. I'm gonna start wearing eyelashes. This is probably way down here someplace. My granddaughter put them on for me. But I like the eyelashes. I couldn't do them.
There's
Put
a
my eye
couple
out.
that, but there is a couple that I am trying to evolve from, which are definitely no more white sugar. I've gone through two fasts from last year, which was
You have.
from October 11th to October 31st. That was my first fast. The next fast was October 11th to my birthday, December 20th, which was the next fast. And so I want to let people know that fasting is a healthy way to detox your body. It is a healthy way to clear out any toxins that may be floating around and get them out of your system, any parasites, any negative energy. You don't think about nothing else when you're starving. You don't think about nothing else when you're rinsing out. When you're working out, you're just trying to get a breath of fresh air. And when you're in the pool and you're trying to swim, you don't want to drown. You're hoping to get another breath. So when we break things down to that basic core element, all we've done is just put extra laundry on top of the overwhelmingness of our livelihood that we already got to go through already. So because of that, we find ourselves not really even fixing or resolving the New Year's resolutions that we claim to have dedicated and proclaimed for ourselves, but it takes actually putting it down in a plan. A goal without a plan is a nightmare. You must write things down. You must write them in the ether, put it on parchment paper so you can look at it, and it's a lot, so be it. It's actually showing to be so. And so when you start doing that, you're going to be able to go through this year knowing that you started from the beginning. This is Genesis. This is your Genesis. We're starting 2024. Give yourself that shot clock, that 24 hours. Operate in just 1 hour increments. That's at least a start. Put an alarm clock on the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to sleep, that you have an hour increment of how much can you accomplish in each one of those hours, whether it's cooking faster or whether it's sending those emails or getting those calls through. Try to speed up but be as proficient and efficient in what you're doing. But that comes from actually doing the work, doing the practice. Practice makes perfect. So once you start actually educating yourself, education opens opportunities. So I want everybody to start reading more this year, start educating yourself more, because what you were doing was being distracted with things that were not fruitful for you. They were like an Oreo cookie, that were white sugar in your system. They were not nutritional enough to keep you sustained moving forward in your life right now. So you find yourself stagnant. So right now, 2024, we're in a new year. What are you going to do? How much
Brand
fruit
new
do you got
year.
in here?
See, and I do mine in increments, and I wish, I not wish, it would be great if I could fast, but I have to be concerned about my blood sugar, yeah, for the most part, and I have to be mindful of what I eat anyway. And
Hmm.
I always said, if people ate like I eat, we would not have a whole lot of obesity. But it's the work that you put in, and then people, they'll say, and I've seen this happen to my girlfriends.
Oh yeah.
They'll say, okay, I'm not gonna do this for the new year. I'm not gonna get a sorry man. I'm gonna cut out all these bobo heads, so I can make a clear path, be concise in what I'm praying for. Because look,
Yes.
God will give you specificity. He will give you what you pray for. I pray for a good husband. I pray for a good husband.
Work for it.
What if he's praying for a good wife? Are you going to be that person? Are
Work
you going
for
to
it.
be able to step up? And women have a tendency, don't do this. I'm begging, especially my single, widowed, and some people can do well. They don't have to be married. That's not what you do. I wanted to be, and we're not meant to be alone.
No.
The human bodies, I mean, you think we together, we are awesome.
A
Instead of
lonely.
being all this fragment and stuff, let's lift each other up. Don't say, well, I need to lose 50 pounds. Start on it.
Yeah.
Start just one simple day, one simple time, and you can do that. And like I said, I and a whole lot of other millions of people have compromised immune systems. And you can do
Yeah.
it as long as you can do it. I can go no longer than 4 or 5 hours without eating. I started
Hmm.
getting loopy. And one time I hadn't eaten, and this is around the time I first got diagnosed, and I didn't even know that this was part of diabetes. It's a byproduct of diabetes. And when your blood sugar goes low, and this is for anybody, diabetes or not, this is when you don't put the fuel back into your system is going to start to fall apart. I had got so loopy that my husband said I stepped out of a moving car. He had to stop traffic to come and get me because I didn't know what the heck was going on. So he got me some juice, and I started getting, and I learned that's not
Hmm.
someplace I ever want to be. And a lot of times people don't realize, especially when you got diabetes, you got high blood pressure, you got any of these chronic conditions, you really have to pay special attention and more attention and closer attention to your health. I mean, this is my house. I want to keep my house clean. I want it to be smelling fresh. I want people, when they walk into my house, they go, "Oh, mother love you." House make it seem like this is home. It is home. I have
Hmm.
this little limerick I say when people come over to the house for the first time. You don't get it every time. First time you ever come to my house, I have a guest book that somebody stole, and one of y'all got my guest book, and I would like to have it back. Thank you. So anyway, everybody signs the guest book, and then they come in and we sit down. I only got these few rules. Don't put your pocketbook on the floor, and I don't have sex in my bed. I ain't say you couldn't have sex in my house. I said don't do it in my bed. And so
Low money is no money.
listen, and scared money can't win.
Mm.
You can't be fearful and serve God at the same time. It just doesn't work. I'm telling you, you have to pay attention to what is going on in your life. And you got to know what your limitations are and what you can and you cannot do. And so that's on you. I don't know what's going to make you tick. As a human being, as a woman, I could probably help you out, but I don't know what makes you tick.
Yeah.
You got to be the best healthcare provider in your life and on your team. So don't sit around and, when you got a pain or you don't feel right or, whatever it is, pay attention to your health.
I love the way that you change the words of. We use diet a lot, but I love lifestyle, because
Uh,
you changing your lifestyle does help resonate even better, because now you can put them in all the compartments of your life. It doesn't just have to be just with food when we
mm,
just specify diet with food. When you
mm,
talk about lifestyle, it comes with the everything that you ingest in, and everything that you inhale, and everything you put on your skin. So these are a lot of sacrifices this year, you guys. You got to really let go of things in order to be able to get to the place that you want to get to. This is I do my 4-step heart check. 4-step heart check. Everybody is always, oh, I'm about to. Oh, I'm about to do it. Oh, I'm trying.
Okay, this one.
Oh,
I'm finna do it. I'm finna do it.
I'm finna do it.
I'm finna do it.
And then I'm done.
All right.
You're done. Once you're done, what the do is in the beginning of done. So once you do it, it's done.
Right.
And the word done. Do it. All you got to do is do the work. If you want that husband, if you want that wife, if you want that success in your career, in life in general, money don't make you happy. Your happiness makes you money. So
Right.
work on your happiness. That's the main thing. And yeah, food may make you happy, money may make you happy, but those are things that are prevalent. They are prevalent and pervasive by the 7 deadly sins. So I want people to be mindful of the things that you indulge in, to be able to cut back on things, whether it's going out all the time, buying all them shoes, eating all of these, foods and stuff like that. Start learning a new trade, learn how to cook.
Now Mr.
You know what I mean?
Blaq.
Wait
Wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Way too far about these people in California because they act like the kitchen is possessed. I can't go cook anything. We went over to this lady's house one time. I think I told y'all this story. And she's as sweet as she can be. Love her to pieces. Her house was so nasty when we got there. I was like, and all I wanted was a glass of water. She said, yeah, girl, make yourself at home. Oh, mother, love on in there. I went into her kitchen. She got empty buckets of chicken in the sink. She got empty wrappers all around the kitchen. I said, can I get a clean glass? She said, yeah, go on with you. I want. I was like, I don't think I want to drink nothing. You ever been to somebody's house and you go in, you go, I don't think I want to eat here, and they want to offer you meat. I don't care how good a cook you are. When roaches is crawling down the kitchen, I'm not eating anything you cook. You could be the best cook in the world. I had a neighbor and she lived on the first floor and we lived on the same side of the building, so whatever she cooked was coming through the rafters and it would be so wonderful. So she said, baby, come on down here and get you something to eat. So I'm like, okay, go. I'll come get me something to eat. I went in and she said, go on in the kitchen. I mean, it's smelling like wonderful. I should have got it in my head when I saw they had like 4 or 5 pallets on the living room floor and kids and babies are sleeping on the floor. And I was like, okay, I don't think I want to. She said, come on, go in the kitchen. And you know how you can see them big fat roaches with the brown, look like they could fly. You swat at them and they grab your fly. So I said, really? Oh, you really think you're going to hit me and take me out with that? See?
Are you my dad?
I'm like, you got roaches back there. So she decided that she was gonna, because she said, I made her feel uncomfortable in her house. And I said, I don't know how I made you feel uncomfortable.
You made me feel uncomfortable in your own house.
I didn't want to eat no roaches with my greens. I don't want my chicken leg walking across the table and I have not touched it. And I guess she thought that was hilarious. And trust me, I never.
But you brought up a great point of it being cleanliness. Yeah.
Oh, cleanliness is next to godliness. And I bet you have seen this before. The new year, I've seen it in the middle of the night. They moving out on December 31st, and they're trying to get everything out of the house before the daylight come, and they're moving everything in black plastic garbage bags.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? This is what your life has amounted to, all your belongings. Talking about a little box to the left. What Beyonce to the left, own everything you own. Everything they own was in black plastic bags.
But that's when you got all those bags like that, that shows how much superficiality is piled up in our own life, our own vanity, our own materialism. When you got all of these bags or all of this material that was stuffed inside of this house, this one little square box of living, and then it ends up on the side of the street. And then all your business is out on the street. So isn't how oxymoronic that is that all your business is out in the street?
Oh, that's what. No, all your business is out there.
All your business is out on the street.
And I know what that feels like. I didn't have an eviction notice. I paid my rent on time, and I had got pink eye. This is way back in the day, and I got pink eye, and it was just getting uglier and uglier. So I told my boss at the phone company, I said, I need to go home so my mother could help me figure out what to do with this. See, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have access to medical books or anything like that, but my mother did because she was a registered nurse. So I come home, my eye swole up like this, and she said, oh, you got the pink eye. Come on, baby, let me fix that. So I was grateful that she knew what to do. And so I say I left on Friday afternoon,
Yeah.
and I made it back to my hometown Friday afternoon because it's only a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive from Cleveland to Columbus. So I get home, I had one of my friends, because I couldn't see out my eye, had one of my friends drive. You know, that's your friend when your friend will stop what they're doing and drive you 2.5 miles away, then drive back and come and pick you up. Never I offered him gas money. He was like, girl, no, you keep me laughing the whole time. So anyway, and I had me a nice little 2-bedroom apartment. You know, I had went to the been thrifting, as they used to be called, going to the Goodwill. And I got some really nice pieces. You know, they look really nice. And some of it needed a little touch up, but that's why we go to the secondhand store. It's still gonna work. And I came home to my mother that Friday afternoon, Friday evening. I left early Monday morning before it was time for my shift at the phone company. I leave early in the morning. I get to my apartment. My apartment is empty. The beds are gone. The dishes are gone. The dining room, everything is gone. And I was like, did anybody see what happened? And then we're like, yeah, girl, your nasty old landlord came over here looking for you. And he said, that heifer ain't here. Put all her stuff out. And put my stuff out. All my business was in the street. Stuff I am never, ever, ever going to be able to recreate. My college books, my essays, whatever it was. And see, and it seemed like that was for me starting all over again. And that's hard for somebody. You have to start all over again. Oh, I take that back. It wasn't completely empty. It was a yardstick in the middle of the floor in the living room.
And I think that's where the transition in life, I think God is trying to tell us something in that moment. It's like the things that really were cherishable to you were taken away from you, comparison to like, hey, I may have had a bunch of Jordans in my closet, you know, and I idolize and worship those more than I actually did the memories that we have, that we're supposed to have with each other. And so that you got to clean out the old in order to make room for the new. And it's difficult to actually start building and receiving your blessing when you still are cursed by the things that are like holding you back and stifling you. So like cleaning your whole deck today.
Generational curses.
Yeah. That's another big one. I know about that, having to clean up those generational curses, having to clean your spiritual palate and having to do the work to work on your mental and emotional status when it comes to this wicked world that we live in, you know, the jobs that we work at. Clean your house. Clean your house. That meaning everything from your email to your bathroom to your room. Get rid of the clothes you don't wear no more. You don't fit no more. Be a blessing to somebody else. Truly, you can be a blessing to somebody else. Let that reverberate down.
I remember when I was still a very large woman, as my furrier would say, well, Mother Love, you're a very large woman. And I remember after I had lost all the weight, I lost 111 pounds. I went from wearing a size 22 dress all the way down to a size 8. And my husband and my son, both of them, you know, I wasn't liking them on that day. Okay, Ma, honey, and Ma, you need, okay, enough with the weight loss. You're starting to look like a crackhead. I'm like, why do I have to look like a crackhead? Can I look at like somebody who's taking care of their health? I remember we went to a fight in Vegas, and it was one of them quick fights. I mean, they spent millions and millions of dollars, and dude knocked dude out. I was still poo-pooing in the audience. They're like, ding, ding, ding. You know, is it over?
Yeah.
It's over. You know, and I remember going home, and I said, I can't wear any of these. I'm never going to be this size ever again. You know, and I gained some of the weight, but I was leveled off for the most part for the past 17, 18 years. And I had all these beautiful clothes and these nice shoes and and I didn't know this. I didn't know that when you lose weight, your head shrinks. All my wigs was too big. They were down on my forehead like this. I had to go get some, you know, get some new wigs and everything. And I said, what am I going to do with all these clothes? Spirit said, donate them to Dress for Success. So I got 2 of those racks that you see in the department store. I got 2 of those racks, and I got a basket full of a laundry basket full of sweaters and belts, and, you know, all the stuff I'm never going to wear again. I mean, literally, going down there, and they thought I was from a store. I said, yeah, Shay Mother Love's dressing room. And so I came in with the racks of clothes. Literally, the director of Dress for Success, she literally started crying. And I said, what's the matter? You can't use this. She said, we could use everything. I can't believe you giving us all this really good stuff. Because she said most of the time their donations are like really old. You know, these are dresses and suits and things I might have worn once, maybe twice. They didn't need to be sitting in my closet. She said, and I know she was just trying to stroke my ego, okay? But my head did get a little big like this. She said, I want you to know something, mother. I got a beautiful thank you note from like at least 10 of the women. They said, that the clothes made them feel like they had hope. They didn't know they could look this good in a bra that fit. They didn't look as big as they thought they were. Because sometimes people look in the mirror and say, I had the reverse thing. They say you look in the mirror and you think you fat. I think that's anorexia. I looked in the mirror and thought I was thin. I ain't had no problem with my weight. Never had a problem with my weight. I ain't have no problem having a relationship. I ain't have no problem with, feeling insecure about that. I have always been comfortable in my own skin. I was not comfortable in all that weight. And to get that off and to share that blessing. I mean, she said, one of the ladies said she had never had on a brand new dress. I said, did y'all tell them it wasn't a brand new dress? Because I had tags on them that said, okay, I wore this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday of the day. And it was on a hanger, and all the accessories were put in a plastic bag to go with the outfit. And so they was outfitted up. They was hooked. They was like Cinderella. They was mad they big foot couldn't fit in my shoes. But to be able to have that kind of positive energy passed on. Because like my grandson used to say when he was little, he said, well, we got to move this out the way so we could do some more else stuff. You got to get rid of that old stuff, those old relationships that are not meaning you any harm. And people are staying in a relationship for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. Don't stay in no bad abusive relationship like kids. Don't stay in a relationship with somebody beating on you or you beating on somebody else, because I'm sure
verbally, physically.
Realize that women can be abusers as well. They can abuse their husbands.
A lot of women have become even more vicious in the abuse now. So because of the times we live in.
Wait a minute, can we talk about that for a minute? Because I'm thinking, okay, really? Why are you so angry? You mean a nice guy like Prime Blaq? He wants to incorporate you in his life. He wants to be in your life. You got a good thing going on. Yeah. But as soon as something jump off, I can't stand him. I'm gonna tell him Ralph did this to me, and I ain't gonna take no stuff off him. And the head be going, and the head be bobbing. Who you think you are? Talk to the hand. And I'm like, this is what I hear. Mother, I want a husband like you have. I said, well, baby, are you going to put in the time and the work and the heartache and the joy and the pain on a daily basis? Oh, well, no, I ain't doing all that. That requires work. Didn't you say you said this too. You got to do the work. They just act like everything, he's going to fall out the sky and everything is going to be perfect. And I can get from behind this fast food counter and I can ride with him in his Porsche and life will be lovely. It'll be happy ending. I'm like, what are you bringing to the table? And you're saying, you know what? And I really feel bad for the single people out here who are looking for love. I mean, people that are on these dating websites and, all this kind of stuff. And you said now women have become even more vicious. I ain't been on the single circuit. What's going on with the women, Prime? So maybe we can get them together for the new year.
I don't know. It's just, I feel like comparison to men and women need to hold more women accountable. I think that is the weakest part of a woman's structure right now is women holding other women accountable. Men hold each other accountable in a very no nice way. It's just straight no nice way. Men hold each other accountable, whether you're a boy or a teen or a man or an elder, you're getting held accountable. The thing is, I find that women have this thing where they have this sisterhood thing and that it's okay to just negate or bypass them holding each other because of numbers type of thing. Oh, we need more numbers. Oh, we need more women to support this. So, but even if you got problems, girl, it's okay, sister girl, you can come with all the, which is fine. You can accept people, you're supposed to be acceptable to people. But at the same time, if you know that that woman has been a horrible mother, if you know that she has been a thief and stealing and robbing, whether it's men or women, just in general, if your spirit ain't been good, we got to start holding people accountable more. Disrespect must get checked this year. That's
absolutely. But people I would like for people to understand this is karma is real. Yeah. I mean, you might get by, but you won't get away. You will not get away from the evil things that you have done, even when you think you have gotten away with it. Yeah. You're like, I made it through that crazy. Oh, I don't have to deal with that. And then it come back on the buttocks. You don't need to go through that this year. You don't need to go through that the rest of the day. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. I mean, we just never know. God rest her soul. My mother sat on the edge of her bed, and she always used to say she was going to die on her own terms. And some people can do that and some people not. I want to drop dead on the radio, on camera, someplace on the movie set, so y'all know I wrote it till the wheels fell off. She used to say, I'm going to die on my own terms. And she had a DNR, do not resuscitate. She said, I don't want nobody poking on me. When it's time to go, it's time to go. She said, and I ain't going to die before Jeopardy go off. I mean, how do you dictate you ain't going to die till a game show go off?
Yeah.
She didn't. She watched Jeopardy. She had my sister come up and open up the window. My sister said by the time she turned around, our mother was sitting on the floor, like in a lotus position. And she said she was gone. She was here one day and she was gone. The spirit and the soulfulness, hers, it will never go away because we are the generational ones and we're the next generation and the next generation. So we got to work on this generation. Do you know that they said, you guys in your age group, Prime Blaq, are not making the lifestyle that your parents and grandparents made, that is so hard to get up and get above. I mean, we got people coming out of college, got these great degrees. They $250,000 in debt. They go to get a job, go to a job interview, and the human resources department will say, well, you got great credentials here, Dr. So-and-so, and such job, but you're too overqualified. How the heck do you be too overqualified to work?
Well, you can be easily overqualified for work if you're going to school to get a PhD in grasshopper reproduction. That doesn't make sense in that society right now. If you have the counsel, if your mama and daddy was that confident behind you, I support my baby, you can get that grasshopper reproduction PhD, and you ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to learn how to change no tire. You ain't got to learn how to cook. You ain't got to learn how to shoot an arrow. No. That's where we fall apart.
That's where we fall apart.
We find ourselves getting into positions and in careers that have no utility, not only to ourselves, but to the betterment of society.
No agency, or they give away their agency to the point they feel like they have nothing. Oh, it's everybody loves me. No, everybody hates me. Nobody loves me. I guess I go eat worms. The only time you should be eating worms is when you put it on the end of a hook and you going fishing. You have to take responsibility for your life. I mean, and for your mistakes. And trust me, I know about mistakes. I know how important it is to ask someone to forgive me, and I got to be ready. I got to be ready for them to say, no, mother love, I don't forgive you. You know, and I got to be all right with that because I was the one that made the mistake. I was the one that, jumped the shark. I understand what I learned is don't jump the shark. That was my biggest, don't jump the shark, and listen to people, listen to what they're saying and take heed to that. I had one of these chicks I grew up with, she was, and I'm just going to call it, she light, bright, damn near white, got the thick curly hair. And, she was a beautiful woman. She had just such a negative energy around her. This chick got pregnant with 2 babies that was 2 fathers of somebody else's husband and thought that was all right. Oh, the kids will be all right. Oh, the kids will be all right. And they think karma is going to come to, because it will come to you. It will come to you and get you or to get your children.
And that's the thing.
Don't care who he getting, long as he up in your family. Long as you doing what he says, long as you got that doubt in your head, you got to stop the doubting. What they say, practice. That's what's going to get you to Carnegie Hall. Practice. Good practice will get you the things that you want. And you said this a few minutes ago. Oh, and it was profound. I should have wrote it down. You said, money don't make you happy.
My happiness makes me me.
My happiness makes money. That's going to be the quote for the year from Prime Blaq. Because, people have some, they got some wonderful quotes and stuff that we can live by that are not so scary, and can we give a big shout out? This is way off to the Michigan resident who hit the the Powerball for $845 million. Kudos. I hope you do great things. That's what we want. They said 1 ticket in Florida, 1 in Texas, match 5 numbers. Oh, wait a minute. Because they played the lottery. I don't know. Happy New Year. I see you up there. I saw C-Town. I see Joe. Can I bring him in? Do I push the button? Oh, see, I'm pushing buttons. I shouldn't push. Hey, Joanne. Our birthday was, we the same age. She 24 hours older than me. We the same, and we look good. Hi, baby. That's my niece right there. What? I don't even know how I want to say hi to them. These my people. They actually listening to the program, huh? That's all right. I don't know how to, but I know you there, Sarah. I know you there, C-Town. I know you there, Joe. Thank you. These my people. I told you I had peeps. I just didn't fall out the sky. That's what kids think. Kids
Yeah.
believe their parents were born grown.
And that's
Yeah.
the beautiful part too, is like the karma's not letting us go because we don't let go of the things that are holding us back. When we start letting go of those things, then like your blessings are going to start coming in and flowing the way that it needs to. You know, like this year, you need to do the work to actually let go of things that have been holding you back. That's literally this year. Like you got to let go and educate yourself. Education opens opportunities, and the opportunities will open because of the education that you get.
Have.
Learn trades, learn how to do the things that you need to do. Disconnect yourself from all of this technology around you. Get out in the elements. Go get in some water. Take a salt bath. Fast. Go put your feet in some dirt and some sand. Start growing your own food and vegetables. Everybody want to go out on a date, but I want a healthy date because I want to be able to eat at home.
Right.
Because you don't know what people are doing out here anymore. And people, like you said, have gotten more mischievous. The wicked things that are in the world have been causing us to, when you look at these shows that cause you to, oh, I want to sleep with his, or they sleeping with their men's, and everybody sleeping with husbands and wives and stuff like that. Now you get the television, that your vision is programmed now to want to follow this and inquire about it. It's a little bit, curiosity killed the cat.
And it's all right to be curious, but be curious about the right things. Don't be curious about stupid stuff. Well, how can they drink like that? They don't need to go to AA. How come they could do drugs like that? Why they can't go to narcotics? They don't need to go to Narcotics Anonymous. That's not you. You have to do what is in you. And you have an assignment. And when I say you, I'm talking about all the human beings on the planet. We're not here by happen chance. We're here. Okay, there go my eyelid.
Like that, we all got to figure out our assignment.
Right, you got to figure it out.
Like,
and figuring it out doesn't mean you have to do it by yourself. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody who you trust their judgment. And see, that's another big thing I see, especially among young people. They don't seem to trust anybody. They don't trust themselves. They don't trust God. They don't trust. So I'm like, what and who are you holding on to? You need to be holding on to somebody. We're safe in numbers. Don't think that you could live life in a silo and everything is gonna be fine.
Nothing has sacredness anymore, sanctity, that tranquility. Like we don't hold anything up in high reverence anymore. We don't hold because everything. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's the young people. Because us, and I'm including myself, the elders that are here now, we are not being a good example of how you're supposed to conduct yourself. You don't have to. There's a thing if you in a meeting, it's called Robert's Rules of Order, and you go in order. This is first, this is second, this is third. You don't, and you got to, and sometimes you can get stuck on the third thing or the fifth thing, and you feel like you just can't get off of it. Then you give up. That's when you know the work is happening. When it seems like you just so beat down. Listen, I'm so far down. I'm looking up to see the bottom.
Yep.
And you don't need to be there.
No more.
You got to be here and in the present time. My girlfriend Jo says, stop looking back. You cannot see what in the future. You got to have faith. You got to have God. And I'm telling you, I know that this is a faithful sister. She has been faithful, for the duration. She got the spirit of God in her children, in her community, in her church. And see, those are the kind of people that, you want to, if you want to mimic somebody, you want to mimic them. I don't think mimicking people on some of these shows like Naked in the Woods, Bachelorette, and you bring a whole bunch of people in. First time I saw them, I'm like, that does not look hygienically well. That's what they told us. Don't go for sloppy seconds. So she get a kiss, she getting I would not want anybody in my family to ever feel like they have got to do something like that they got to go so overboard because they can't. I saw one of the commercials the other day. I guess it's a new show. And if they bring a man and a woman together and they stand in this little round garden, and their thing is, if you don't find somebody to marry in a certain amount of time, you got to marry each other.
Oh yeah.
Really? And then they got a show called where you don't even get to see each other, but you dressed up in
Love is
wedding clothes.
Blind.
And you talking about you? This is a sacred union. You don't get to, you know.
90 Day Fiance.
Oh, that's it. That's all it took you in 90 days to be your fiance? No, it doesn't. Relationships that are sustainable grow from mutual love, mutual respect, and trust. You know, you could say all the stuff you want to say. You know, when you're married and you having somebody else on the side and you know you married, or he knows you married, she knows you married, and you get intimate with them anyway, that's why they be coming up with, oh, well, I ain't that baby daddy baby looking just like you spit him out.
Yeah.
How come him and Howard look so much alike? They could be brothers because they are brothers. Now, that's just crazy. For you to take the sanctity of marriage, and it's not for wusses and chumps. Oh, yeah. Everybody can't be married. Well, everybody can be married. Everybody won't stay married because you want to put different rules and regulations on it. Only different rules and regulations I said about my wedding vows is when they said love, honor, and obey. And I went, wait, on that obey part, okay, sometime. Probably won't be a lot of that. But I'm a grown woman.
But that's how
you gotta be committed.
This whole construct has made us uncommitted. Look how confusing the compartmentalizations of this complex conversation has turned a lot of people's homes upside down by even just doing the simple things. Just especially if that's your significant other, why is it so hard for you to say yes? If you say that's your best friend and you love them and stuff like that, why talk mean to them? Why hurt them?
I could never understand that. And I mean, I do, because sometimes you get frustrated in a marriage. And sometimes, people always say, well, we just grew apart. Well, okay, and I get that. Me and my husband grew apart as well, but we didn't go in any place. We stayed with one another. We grown one another. And one of the things
it brought you back.
Said to me,
it brings you back.
Everybody kept saying, well, how she get that fine husband with her big fat black butt? I want a husband like that. He said to me, many times, he said, I was like, what attracted me to you? What attracted you? What did you see in me? He said, because they didn't have the phrase, but he said, because you are worth thinking like that. You are honest about that. And I speak my mind. People say, oh, Lord, they getting ready to have a divorce. And next thing you know, we turn around. Y'all turn around. We hug at each other. That's called communication. Sometimes, most of the time it works. Most of the time, but when I say no, he don't pay me no attention. I said, I'm not doing so and so and such and such. He go, don't, just leave alone.
Yep, communication.
When I come back around and she thinks it's her idea, because I only take from the best. I only take the best lines. I wrote down some of your lines too, and some of the lines that we get from people that we acknowledge that we enjoy. One of the resolutions, I don't know if it's a revolution, but this stuck with me from Mother Teresa. Life is an opportunity. Benefit from it. Life is beauty. Admire it. Life is a dream. Realize it.
That's powerful.
You could dream about a lot of stuff. This is what Albert Einstein said. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. Wow. There is a tomorrow. Just thank God that you're here now. Thank God that He has given you another day with a Y in it. I celebrate every day that has a Y in it. Yeah. And we can make a difference. We can make a positive difference. I want you to make a difference in your life. Let me invite you to come and be a guest on the Mother Love Show sometime. If you got a book, you want to promote it, you can do that. If you got a movie that you want to promote, you can do that too. Come talk about what you're doing, and I'll allow you to shamelessly promote what you're doing. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. You can see us on Instagram. You can see us on Twitter. I love the way the British say, and Twitter. And you can find me. All you have to do is I'm on Restream. That's what we're doing on Restream. So go to the website, motherloveshow.com. Go to the website and find out some. Yes, I do have an official website. It was built out. I'm like all giddy. So get involved. Make sure you check out Prime Blaq. Tell them where they can see you, baby. Where they can get
I am Googleable on Google. It's Prime Blaq. PRIMEBLAQ.
Prime Blaq was always it's always a pleasure to chat with you, sir. I look good over there.
The humble
Thank you
honor.
all very much for joining us today, Joanne and C-Town and Sarah and everybody. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Make 2024 a better day for you. Peace and blessings.